Alright, this is going to be a relatively light on the edits one take video, but I just wanted to talk about this because it's something I've been having to deal with for the last week, and that is being pretty much without a good phone. So I do have the Moto Z3. The problem with that is text editing on that thing is really just not a very good time for me. Like Gboard and SwiftKey are the two keyboards that I would use. I've tried a few others and none of them have been really any good, but SwiftKey and Gboard are the ones that I usually can acclimate to some extent, but they both exist on two different sides of the equation here. You have one where it's like it's overly aggressive with autocorrect and one where it's not aggressive enough, and iOS keyboards that's kind of right in the center of that equation. So the problem is I place a lot of stock in being able to type out sentences on my phone, and Gboard and SwiftKey just kind of both suck at it in different ways, so that's why I just don't use the Moto Z3 as my main device. So Ryan made me an offer to kind of let me borrow one of his iOS devices, and well, yeah, iPhone 6 it is. Now the problem with the iPhone 6 and why it's just so not good to use is because even with iOS 12 in 2020, most apps are going to take forever to load on this thing and to get around the apps. So, for example, when I go to send a picture to somebody in iMessage, to call up my photos, it takes like 5 seconds to load them all in. To start up Telegram, it takes like 5 seconds to load in my messages. To load up eBay, it takes like 10 seconds. This is a common trend with pretty much every app on this phone, and when you add that up over the day, it becomes insane to use this. It's just so slow, so bad, and it's going to make me appreciate my 10R when it comes back. Now, as for why I did this, because the 10R had a few little issues, mostly with the back glass having a gap in it from the factory, it looked like, and the adhesive looked like it was starting to seep out the sides. I wanted to get that taken care of before the warranty lapsed, so I sent it in because it's all you can do right now. And unfortunately, Apple kind of took their time with it, and it's probably because, you know, of the climate we're in right now, but it took them 3 days to just actively repair the phone, and it took them 2 days to kind of process that they even had my phone in the warehouse. So they finally sent it back out last week, Friday, and they sent it out via UPS next day air, which is good and great, but UPS is kind of screwing up a little bit. Because UPS has had my phone since the 1st, and that was on a Friday. They've had it since 5 a.m. on the 1st. And they got it, I guess I should start first by saying, I'm about 2 hours from Elk Grove, which is where this would be the 10R that I'm using for the example here, which is where this went and where it's being sent from. So Elk Grove is about 2 hours away from me, right? And this is being sent via next day air. It was supposed to get here yesterday, and today is Tuesday. I have not heard of it, and it is currently stopped in Oakland right now and has not moved at all. Now, I also order stuff from iFixit relatively often, and that stuff gets shipped here via UPS ground. Now, San Luis Obispo is where iFixit is headquartered and where a lot of the stuff ships from, and they are also 2 hours south of me. So, essentially, they should be getting here a lot later, right? Well, no. If I place a order on iFixit by usually 2 p.m., it'll be here the next day by UPS ground. It's kind of insane. Like, it's overnight without actually paying for it, which is super nice. So, my thing is, why the hell is my phone taking so damn long? Because don't get me wrong, I'm thankful to have a phone to use at all. But this thing is so dreadfully bad in 2020. I don't get how anybody with a straight face can say, I don't need to upgrade. The 6 is perfectly fine, especially since I replaced the battery. Well, allow me to just go ahead and take a dump right on that point here, because we can go here and we can go into the battery settings, battery health, 97%. This battery is perfectly fine, and I'm still having issues with this thing. Like, when I was using Cash App earlier today, I tried to load a couple bucks on my Cash App card to use a boost. It took literally 5 minutes for it to actually add the funds to my card. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's okay, I'm probably exaggerating on the 5 minutes front, but it took literally at least a minute for it to process. And I'm not talking about the phone having told Cash App, hey, add money to my account, and Cash App taking that long to process. No, I'm talking about this phone took that long to even get the request to Cash App to add funds to my card. This thing is insanely slow, and people still using it today must have the patience of a damn saint. So I'm slowly losing my mind over here, and the thought has crossed my mind to use my credit card to buy an iPhone SE, because that's how insane I'm going over here with dealing with this thing. Just how slow it is. But hey, on the good end, this thing will teach me to appreciate my 10R much, much more than I already did. But yeah, it's kind of where I've been with this, with the phone situation. It's kind of been an unintentional challenge to see how I get along today with a phone that is 6 years old for about a week and a half. I'm hoping UPS starts moving my package today with the phone, because as we can see, it is 4:30 in the morning. Usually their packages will start moving at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and the tracking will usually update by 6 or 7 p.m. or a.m. So I'm just hoping that I get some reprieve from this, because the siren song of the iPhone SE is becoming harder and harder to ignore, and it really sucks because I do have the credit capacity to go buy one. So it just sucks all around. Like, again, if there's anybody still willingly using one of these today and doesn't think they have a reason to upgrade, I'd be impressed to hear like how you get on with these, because I can see it being good for if you're like using this as just for text messages and phone calls, but for anything outside of that, even remotely outside of that, this phone is just a bad time all around. I cannot get how people have that level of patience. But anyway, this is just meant to be like, hey, I'm doing this right now. I don't have a modern phone that I'm actively using, so yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, if even it comes at a cost to my sanity, and I will see you guys later.